Hey, how you doing? Today you and I are going to be unboxing the all-new Greenpan Frost Ice Cream and Slushie Maker. This machine is Greenpan's answer to the popular Ninja Slushi. Do they have what it takes to take over that #1 spot? Watch this video and find out. So you ready? Let's get into this. This is the Greenpan Frost Ice Cream and Frozen Drink Maker. Here's a picture of the machine. This is the actual color of the machine. I got the blueberry version. It also comes in a light green, kind of like this, white, black, and sort of a charcoal color also. You've got 6 modes and 7 textures. And looking at this, we got a lot of stuff that is stuff I wouldn't think would work in here. Ice cream, soft serve, slushies. So we've got ice cream and soft serve both. To get scoop ice cream out of this, I'm gonna kind of call BS on that, but we will find out soon enough. I'll tell you what, if we can get something that's like a hard soft serve out of this, I'm gonna be pretty impressed. You can see a list of the modes that it has right here. The knob right here is for texture, so that basically has different freeze levels for each one of these things. And then right here you can see the general design of the machine. I like that the spigot is coming out of the bottom of the vessel here. That's one of the problems that they had with the Ninja Slushies, that it was coming out of the front, and therefore a lot of the stuff would get stuck trying to come out. So hopefully this might be a little bit better. Quick information on how to use your machine. You add your stuff, you select what you want to do, and you push a button and you're done. Hopefully your frozen Coke doesn't come out looking like that, because that looks a little bit sad. You can see up here the machine has a 64-ounce capacity. Another quick look at the machine, and we have a little bit more information about some of the features of the machine, including that mode dial, the handle on the front being more like a classic fountain handle. The container is double insulated, which is another thing that the Ninja Slushi doesn't have. That would mean that it's going to help keep the contents of that colder for longer, and that might be why it has a little easier time making ice cream. You can see that the bowl design on this is a little bit different than what you might be used to, and right here it says that the plastic parts are dishwasher safe. I personally don't like putting plastic into the dishwasher, even if it does say it's dishwasher safe, because in my personal experience I found that over time dishwashers will turn clear plastic into cloudy plastic, and cloudy plastic looks like garbage, so we don't want that to happen. I'd rather be safe than sorry. I appreciate that they threw the nice little pun there at the bottom. And once again, we have some closer up examples of some of the stuff you can get out of this machine, including that frozen Coke again, which looks super lumpy there. I get the feeling that this stuff sat here for a long time while they were taking the photographs to go on the box, because that could look better. Anyway, let's get this open. You know, I like doing these unboxings. I don't open these up until I have the camera turned on. That way you and I will get the same experience. Scan to see step-by-step assembly, and okay, well, hopefully I don't need instructions for assembly. Okay, what do we got? Okay, this has a little insert telling you what's inside the accessory bag, or more so what those things are, because it just looks like a lot of little weird pieces. And on the back it just tells you how to install some of these extra parts. Here's a little note that tells you to make sure that you remove the machine right side up, and if the box was laying on its side or something, to wait 2 hours before you use it. That really goes with anything that's got a compressor in it. Not supposed to be having that stuff laying on its side, similar to refrigerators and things like that. Quick start and recipe guide. Quickly tells you how to use the machine, how to use all the different modes, probably the amount of sugar or whatever that needs to be in here in order to get a slush. A lot of people will tell you that you need to have a certain amount of sugar or alcohol in order to get stuff to slush, but that doesn't mean you can't make sugarless recipes. You just have to make some other concessions to get those to work. In the back here are some recipes. You got a milkshake, coffee, caramel frozen custard. Okay, frozen yogurt. Yes, they're going pretty heavy on the ice cream section of this. That is looking pretty promising, actually. And that was the quick start guide. So here is the actual user guide, which goes more in depth for cleaning instructions, assembly instructions, what all the parts are, warranty information, cleaning, so on and so forth. Have you ever bought anything that had these notes section in the back before and you actually wrote something back here? Let me know down in the comments if you've ever actually used these, and if so, what did you write in there? Weird. Okay, what do we got? Ooh, loose parts. Okay, got our handle right here. This blue stuff is just blue plastic. That might be aluminum. That's not actually chrome. I think that might be an aluminum with a little chrome coating over the top of it. This looks like the drip tray for the machine. Doesn't really snap in, it just sort of sets on it, but that's okay. I'm gonna take off this part right here. And here we have this little baggie that little paper handout was mentioning before. Let's see what we got in here. It's kind of nice that your cleaning stuff has a little bag to go into. It's kind of fun. Could have made the opening a little wider on this. Pain in the neck to get anything out of here. Whoa, okay. Stuff everywhere. Okay, we got a couple of these guys in here. These are both the same, but they just gave us an extra one. This is a little cap that goes over the nozzle for the extruder, and that will form the ice cream or whatever coming out of here into a swirl pattern. So if you're making soft serve, you can make it look all nice and fancy with these guys. Also on the extruder is a little silicone gasket like this. This actually came with two extra ones. One of them fell down here in the box someplace, but I'll get it later. But these are replacements in case one of them ever fails on you. Kind of nice that they're giving us extra little replacement parts like this. I don't know how good that is because I've never gotten something like that with a machine. I just hope that doesn't mean that this part is prone to fail or anything like that. Okay, this is a little rod that you use to push the extruder head around during installation. This is a lot more complicated machine, I think, than the Slushie is. Okay, we've got a little cleaning brush right here. I like how it has sort of a tapered top like this so you can get in there a little bit better. And then you got a thinner brush to clean the harder to reach areas inside the machine, probably where the extruder is. I do like that they included all this stuff. Oh, this is just gonna come right out like this. And we're just gonna lift this sucker out of here. Like this. And here is the machine. It's a nice hefty looking power cable too. We'll get some measurements on this machine, but we will do that after we get it fully assembled. Right here is where the handle gets attached to, and I'm not gonna attach that just yet because I've already got one thing to show you. This cap comes off here for cleaning, and inside you can see the extruder. You use this rod here up on the inside to push the extruder up until the gap in it shows up right in here, so you can hook the handle into that. But you can only do that if this thing is off. That's all fine and good, but if you put the handle onto this thing and this isn't on here already, then you can't put this on because it doesn't fit otherwise. So that means every time you want to clean up inside this machine, you're gonna have to sort of disassemble this machine quite a bit. How difficult is that? Well, we're gonna find out. So the first thing I'm gonna show you is all the parts of this first so I can put it together and not take it apart again. On this side of the machine, you have a little door that opens up right here, and that is to hold your ice cream cones. This has a little magnet on it, so that will not flop down on its own or anything. But that hinge is just plastic. I mean, I could see that breaking off of here really easy. So be careful with that thing. Up top we have a little cover that pops off, and right here you can see where you pour your stuff into this. So this vessel is all just one big piece. If I want to take this thing off, it just tilts over to the left, just like that, and then the whole thing comes out forward. You can see this double-walled construction that's on this vessel right here if you're looking at this. If you've ever had one of those double-insulated plastic Contigo cups or anything, you know what this construction looks like. You could probably see it right there a little bit easier where it's got this air gap in the middle. Basically, it makes this container look like it holds a lot more than it actually does, but you have to take into consideration that it's only going to hold the amount that the inner circle does, not the outer. The only parts that really come off of this is the extruder, because that can come all the way out of this machine. There's the seal right there in the middle, which is what these little replacement guys were for. And you can see I found the one that fell in the box. And other than that, this is one piece. Oh, down here we got a little compartment that opens, and it looks like that is a way to clean out the inner section. So really this isn't vacuum sealed or anything like that, because this is the gap between the two sections. I would think that if you're not careful, that could be a serious issue with cleaning, because that's the only section we got right here that you can get into the intersection of this. So if you get dirt and grime up here someplace and it gets stuck, that is going to be a massive pain in the ass to clean that out, that's for sure. So we'll just throw this door back on, and if you look right here, this has got 2 cracks in it right there. So we got a little bit of a quality control problem here now too already. What? That is kind of a big deal, because this hook right here is how this thing locks into the machine. Probably not that big a deal. I wouldn't imagine that this thing is just going to spin around or anything on you, but I'm going to have to call Greenpan on this and see if they want to send me out a new little door. That's definitely a quality control issue though, and I haven't had to make too many calls about this type of stuff in the past, but here we go. That's disappointing. Here goes the steering blade. This just pops off just like this. That is very strong ABS plastic, it looks like. Not going anywhere. There's not really much flex to this at all, so that's good. And this is all just sealed back here to keep your machine from leaking. I have seen some complaints online about this machine leaking a little bit. I'm gonna make the assumption that it's probably gonna be something to do with this, but we're gonna test that out quite a bit and find out what that's all about. Anyway, this sits on here nice and secure. There's no tray down here to collect liquid or anything, so they really are banking on this thing not leaking. So that is a little bit alarming, but we'll see. Throw that back on. And I can show you how to put this handle on. You see that I've already pushed that extruder up where it needs to be, so this can just go back on now. Then you take your handle with the L shape like this, slide that in there, and then this pin would just go in through the hole in the middle of the handle, and it would fit into this notch on the right side, just like that. And then this just works like that. Remember we were talking about these things right here? Well, that would just pop onto the machine right there at the bottom. Pretty easy. Now the only other part we have is the drip tray, and that just kind of sits right in here like that. This also has a magnet right here as well, so it will kind of slide right in there. See, you can see a little bit better. That's a nice touch though. Like it. Okay, as far as dimensions go, this machine is not that big. A lot smaller than I expected. From back to front, we're talking about 18 inches if you're going right to the edge of the handle with it all the way in the up position. From the bottom of the machine to the top, we are about 17¼ inches. And if you have the ice cream cone holder closed, which you probably will, the width of the machine is right at 8½ inches. Okay, I'm gonna rinse all these parts out really quick, and then we're gonna run a quick test with this green apple slushy mix that I have here.
3 days later.
Okay, you can see that we have Slushie, soft ice cream, spiked Slushie, sorbet milkshakes, and extrude clean, which is just the regular cleaning cycle. Basically what this does down here at the bottom is it'll run the machine, but it won't run the compressor, so it's not cooling anything. That way you can pour warm water and stuff into it, and it helps you clean the machine up without having to completely disassemble it all the time. You're still going to take it apart to clean it anyway, but that really does help you get a head start, and it keeps it from getting too cruddy. The mode button right here will change modes, so if I click that, it's not really a button, it's touch sensitive, which is kind of nice. It makes it feel expensive. You can see the L next to here, which is just level 4. So for instance, if I just wanted to make this slushy stuff, by default it's at level 4. I can use this texture thingy to change that all the way between 1 and 7. We're just gonna leave this at 4, seeing as how it was defaulting there anyway, and we can always change that later if we want to. The dial also acts as a start and stop button, so we are gonna start this up. Sounds kind of powerful. Okay, and this is supposed to be 1 part mixed to 5 parts water. So we'll do that, and we're not really gonna make a full thing, we're just gonna do enough to test this. Alright, never mind, we're doing a full thing. As long as we got this running, we can do a quick sound check. Hey, you can see it's not too loud. 56, 57 decibels, something like that. Okay, all we gotta do now is wait for our slushie and see what kind of results we get. Hey, by the way, if this is your first time here and you want to learn some cool new recipes, get some great cooking tips and tricks and all sorts of other kitchen related things, then start now by subscribing to the channel and clicking the notification bell so you never miss a thing. Okay, once our slushie is ready, the machine will switch over to cool mode, and that's just telling it that it's reached the desired temperature and we're free to dispense this. The paddle's running a little bit faster too, and that's probably just to keep it at that same texture. So all I gotta do is take my glass, set it down here, and pull this lever. So we'll do that and see how our texture looks. Ooh, that's pretty good. I'll tell you what, that looks pretty fantastic. It's got nice consistency. This is just like a 7-Eleven Slurpee. So, machine's no joke. Does a nice job. Let's see how it tastes. Yeah, that's good. All I gotta do now is call Greenpan about that busted piece because that's not great. Well, the Greenpan Frost certainly looks the part. It has a lot of the same features as the Ninja Slushi, but it looks like it might have just a little bit more when you're talking about that ice cream function. I tried to do something like that in the Ninja Slushi before, and although it worked, it wasn't really ideal. To me, that's going to be something that's really interesting to see. Over the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be testing the Greenpan Frost, and when I get done, I'll be back with a full product review. If you'd like a little bit more information about the Frost, I do have affiliate links for it down in the description of the video. If you buy anything through those links, I do make a small commission, but it doesn't change the price that you pay 1 cent. Hey, Joe's Phenomenal now has channel memberships. For most people, you can see a join button down below the video window that you can click and see what type of perks I'm offering. If you're using an iOS device, you might not be able to see it, and if that's the case, I do have a link down in the description of the video as well. If you like this video, I bet you might like to see this video right here where I unbox the Ninja Slushi. If you watch that video, you'll really be able to make a good comparison between the two machines and see what they do and don't come with. Well, that's it for now. I hope to see you back again here really soon. And until that time, I'm Joe, and I hope you have a phenomenal day. Take it easy.